X. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Markets are flat across the board here, slightly up. Europe just flat, waiting on America to wake up. Asia, very slightly down. We've got gold sitting at 4,400. Really elevated prices. Auto fit the data to screen. Oil falls. Price drop as investors weigh falling demand against Middle East tension. Oil prices fell Thursday as investors weighed waning global demand against the ongoing supply disruption in the Middle East. West Texas down 2% to 81 per barrel. Brent, the international Brent benchmark, was trading 1.8% lower at 87 a barrel. Very interesting. The International Energy Agency said Wednesday that global oil demand was set to fall further than previously expected this year. Renewed hostilities and maritime disruption are undermining efforts to boost global oil supply, the IEA said. Supply remains at 6.3 million barrels a day, lower year on year in July. Interesting. That's interesting to note. The security situation in the Middle East remains precarious for shippers. Tax on vessels. Oman coastline started to be affected by the massive oil spill caused by a leaking tanker that ran aground June 30th. Russian oil. Further deadly attacks on vessels in the Gulf. Lack of clarity. I feel like it's just going to be a nothing burger as everybody realizes they need to route their oil around. And then that's just that. Treasury yields dip as Wall Street awaits wholesale inflation data. What does that mean? What does that even mean? U.S. Treasury yields dipped on Thursday as Wall Street digested the inflation print for July and looked ahead further readings due later in the season. 10-year Treasury note, the key benchmark for U.S. government borrowing, fell 2 basis points. That's like basically anything. 2-year Treasury note, which more closely tracks short-term Federal Reserve interest rate policy, fell more than 2 basis points, 4.178. 30-year Treasury bond fell less than 1 basis point. 1 basis point equals 0.01%, and yields and prices move inversely to one another. The July reading for the U.S. Producer Price Index, which gauges what wholesalers pay for raw goods and materials, is set for release Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Very soon here. We think that the most FOMC voters would see the July inflation numbers we expect as acceptable and want to see the August CPI and PPI before deciding whether to hike at the September meeting. So this is a nothing burger. So you're saying this means nothing at 8:30 a.m. pretty much. Like Bullish the exchange that owns Coindesk. I have a fucking account, dude. So annoying. Sign in. Sign me in. I don't even know what my password is. Like, what would I make my password for CNBC? Who the fuck knows? I don't fucking know, dude. Like, why would I know? Why would I log in here all the time? Oh, not reading that one. Ain't reading that one. This whole like sign in to get news is so dumb. But I guess it is the future with AI. Like AI is going to mine all this data anyway, and how do you get people to actually get your information? Or does it matter if AI is going to mine it anyway? Does it fucking matter? Don't you want the AI to mine it? You need to charge the AI. Reddit stock, dude. I do believe there is something to Reddit stock. We're barely up. We're just flat on the morning, sitting at 46,000. But what's nice on the week, on the month, And on the 3 month now, we are in the green. In the past 3 months, we have made basically $500 a month. $1,646, up 3.6% in our individual account. Love to see that. $500 a month just coming in, dude. Year to date, are we green? I think we're still red on the year to date chart. We're red by $400 on the one full year, which is what really counts because we just started putting money in this account. Look at how much we sucked doing individual stocks, doing dumb shit. As soon as we started to right the ship, which was really like probably in June, things started to go up. It's been nothing but up and to the right from here on out all time with this account. And this is going back to 2019. And obviously, I took a long break of using this account. This was COVID. This is when I shorted Tesla and hit that huge fucking win. What a great time to be alive. We're still down. We're down 3.28% on the whole portfolio lifetime of using a Robinhood account. Looking to definitely close that gap by the end of the year. We should be in the green there. That's been the goal the whole time. The whole damn time. World's largest jeweler bets on platinum despite falling silver prices. Interesting. Shipping giant warns ports and trucks hold up deliveries and push up prices. And as a logistics person, I'm interested. Geopolitical turmoil hasn't dented global shipping, but port and trucking capacity constraints could mean delivery delays and higher prices. Vincent Clerc, chief executive officer of Denmark's Maersk, said that despite the war in Iran, the impact of U.S. tariffs, there have been incredible resilience of demand and incredible resilience of the economy, which has led volumes to continue completely unabated. Yeah, because we're still going to order shit. People still need stuff. However, bottlenecks on the land, from port terminals and cargo facilities to road and rail links, are causing congestion and pushing freight rates higher. We're starting to hit our stretch limitations of what the land side can actually cope with, along with the effective closures of the Strait of Hormuz. Challenge with the Panama Canal are pushing more cargo onto roads. However, trucking capabilities in many markets is struggling to keep up. This is impacting freight rates. It's going to take time to. What the hell was that, dude? E&M with the prime sub. Let's fucking go. Thank you, sir. GM ran. When do you all leave for Draper Dragon? Wes leaves this weekend. Wes will be there this weekend. I'm not going to the end of the month. You're stuck with me for 2 more weeks of streaming. And then I think I'm going, yes, 2 more full weeks of streaming. And then I'm going to be there basically the first 2 weeks of September, it looks like, is what I'm going to do. The first 2 weeks of September there. So at least that's the plan for now. Damn. Hapang Lloyd. I don't even know how to say it. I should. Maersk and Hapag Lloyd are like the two biggest shipping companies I've seen. Are you coming to New Mexico before they finish the construction of the event center? Nah, dog. I wish I could, but I don't have time, my friend. I don't have time. Maybe at some point we will. I will hit up. Get me a phone number for somebody there. Get me a phone number for somebody there, and I will call and set up a meeting. Actually, I can do it. Don't worry. I promise you that I will call and reach out in the next 2 weeks and get that for you. Did you like my singing though? The Asian hubs such as Shanghai struggling to cope with demand. MERS shares pop 7%. Dang, people are about to get paid. People are about to get paid off the shipping delays, off the squeeze, as they call it. I've never heard of SK Hynix in my life, and now all of a sudden, big public company, super important. South Korea, where a mountainous landscape makes building huge products an incredible undertaking, the world's leading maker of high bandwidth computer memory is investing 720 billion in what it says will be the largest network of memory factories in the world. Well, yeah, they're about to spend $1 trillion fucking dollars. His market cap has jumped more than fivefold in the past year and now tops $1 trillion, is making a big bet that extreme demand from artificial intelligence is here to stay. Soaring prices exacerbated by capacity constraints are changing the fabric of the classic boom and bust industry, with AI chip giants like Nvidia willing to take more risk as they scramble to secure supply. Industry relying on just a few players. SK Hynix controlled 58% of high bandwidth memory. Damn. In the first quarter, followed by South Korea giant Samsung. Dang. And US based Micron Technologies, both at 21% according to Counterpoint Research. Wow. I would love to have some Micron. I'm sure it's in the QQQ. Interesting to note that almost 80% of high bandwidth memory is made in South Korea between two companies, SK Hynix and Samsung. Everybody's heard of Samsung. I don't think anybody knew who SK Hynix was before a month ago. To help fund its ambitious build out, SK Hynix, which trades on the Korean exchange, reeled in 26.5 billion in July by listing shares on the Nasdaq, the most money ever raised by a foreign company. 26.5 billion, they're about to spend 700 billion. What does that even matter? That's like nothing on the scale. It's been a tough month for new investors since reaching a high of 195 on July 14th. US listed shares are down 21%. Closing Wednesday at 154, the drop has coincided with a broader volatility in the AI trade. Chip stocks are hurting. None of that will deter SK Hynix from pursuing its historic build out. South Korea President Lee Jae-myung said in June to double the country's memory production in 5 years, which includes construction of multiple new Samsung mega fabs as well. Damn, they're doubling down. I like it. Got behind the scene peek. Cameras, look inside, memory, clean rooms, where the company's also, it's like a war. Height is the most striking difference between US chip fabs and the three SK Hynix sites we toured in South Korea. The first fab at Young Cluster had walls built around about halfway up the towering structure. Of a 50-story apartment building, it will have 6 clean rooms connected over several floors instead of sprawling out in a single story like a new fab in Arizona. Wait, what? What? High cable data centers. The stacks of HBM take up so much DRAM, it's depleting the supply for consumer electronics. As AI giants sign contracts that are years long than a typical short term agreement for what was historically considered a low margin commodity. It's like a war. Controlling owner of SK Hynix in an interview and so everybody wants to buy the memory chips. Without that, they can't produce their AI computing and AI chips. The price went up too fast. I'm trying to do my best. Wow. That's crazy to say, right? 10 long term agreements with major customers. NVIDIA just secured a stable supply of HBM and agreed to co develop next generation memory as part of a $500 billion deal. Wow, they're like, not only will you buy from us, you're going to help us create the next model to ensure you're still a customer. Taiwan showed CNBC a wafer with a message on it from NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang that reads, "Please make more." He said he meets occasionally with major industry leaders like Microsoft's, Google, Meta. Dang. Like the CEOs, like not just their team. He meets with Satya Nadella, Sundar Pichai, and Mark Zuckerberg. If you name any company in big tech, they're all in Korea to sign a contract, he said. It's a race, and now the counterparty of the race is China. It's going to be a lot more dangerous than anything else in the world. Wow. It really is a war. It's American companies versus Chinese spending. Who can spend more? What's the more desirable currency to take in? Micron is spending 50 billion to build two huge new memory fabs in Boise, Idaho, with the first one scheduled to start making wafers in 2027. And in Clay, New York, it's building a $100 billion campus with up to four fabs. SK Hynix is also building its first U.S. facility where construction's set to conclude in 2028. The $4 billion fab in West Lafayette, Indiana, damn, is for packaging where memory chips will be stacked and wired together rather than front end manufacturing. In addition to its Indiana plans, U.S. operations, wow. Sacramento, California. Interesting. Never heard of this company, and it's actually massive. That's so wild. Very, very interesting stuff. What is going on in Japan? I have not read anything about, like, I have not really kept up with Japan. I've heard something about a currency deflation or inflation or inflation of some kind. Japan has enough cash at its disposal for a couple more rounds of yen buying on the scale of last month's historic intervention. They say Boise, Idaho's dope. I got a buddy who lives there. Lots of lakes, caves, and places to go hiking. That would be cool. I've never visited Boise, Idaho, actually. I don't think I've ever been to Idaho. Eat a lot of potatoes. Never been to Idaho. Japan has roughly 1 trillion in US dollar reserves, about 200 billion, likely the size of July operation, sits in cash or cash equivalents. They already have at their disposal enough to do another a couple rounds of what we just saw, which were near record size. Realistically, they wouldn't come close to using all of that, but I think that just sort of hits home the point that they have plenty of capacity to keep intervening if they wish. Japanese officials have said that they won't hesitate to step back in if needed. That carries some credibility now that the US has intervened alongside Japan to support the yen for the first time since '98. The joint action in late July came after the yen slid towards 164 per dollar, hovering near its weakest level in 4 decades, and has put the Bank of Japan September policy meeting at the center of whether that reprieve holds. 85 billion in the first 2 days of last month's operation. The yen has strengthened past its 200-day moving average of $158 per dollar. Action is not a sustainable fix. Ultimately, just buy some time. Well, what's the actual problem? Japan's finance said it plans to use the FEMA repo facility, which lets central banks raise dollar cash against their treasury holdings. Traders are still bracing for another sharp yen surge. Cooler economic data could ease pressure on the yen by weakening the case for the Federal Reserve to hike rates further and revive bets on another intervention. So is it our interest rates going up that are weakening the yen? Because if our what is weakening the yen? Let's ask Claude. Is it because if our interest rates go up, that strengthens holding the dollar, and so less people want to hold the yen? Does that make sense? What is weakening the Japanese yen? Why can't I not spell? Tell me, Claude. Tell me about it, Claude. Or trade bot near doing anything? No, we need to be able to sell our ETH. No, we can't sell any Bitcoin yet. No, we can't sell our lighter till 250. The bot is just chilling, waiting for the right opportunity. And I kind of like it. Where I would have over traded and been bored as hell right now, you know what I'm saying? The bot is just chilling, waiting for the right setup. No big deal. And it still has a Sharpe ratio that's really high after 40 days of tracking it. You know what I mean? Pretty powerful stuff. Let's see what Claude's got to say. Claude's still thinking. Wow. Biggest one is interest rate gap. The Fed policy rate sits at 3.5, 3.75, while Bank of Japan is just 1%. So investors keep borrowing cheaply in yen and parking the money in high yielding dollar assets, the carry trade. Over the past year, that flow out of Japan's slow growth, low rate economy has knocked roughly 10% off the currency. Damn, it's just the Japanese carry trade is unwinding over time. And the more we raise rates, the worse that gets for them. Fiscal policy is amplifying it. Prime Minister has proposed a 370 trillion, 2.3 trillion public private investment blueprint through 2040 plus a food consumption tax cut that would cost around 4.4 trillion in revenue. Traders read that as loose fiscal policy paired with a BOJ that's staying easy. Japan's money growth is too weak to hit its inflation target, keeping yields depressed. Wow. The Japanese carry trade, my dude. Yo, I need to go over to Japan and borrow some fucking yens, my guy, and put them in the bot. Let it trade. Wow. That is what it is. That's wild. I was kind of close. I didn't really understand the mechanics of why, but through reading the article, we kind of understood what was going on a little bit. Does that make sense? What else is in the news? Kramer's lightning round. Ford says it's increasing Lincoln production. Dude, I must be getting old. New federal rules could end mortgage escrow interest for some homeowners. States sued to block them. What does this mean? Like we can't earn interest on our escrow? What does that mean? Head state attorneys filed a lawsuit on Tuesday seeking to invalidate a pair of office of the comptroller of the currency rules that allow certain banking institutions to sidestep state laws requiring them to pay interest on mortgage escrow balances. Wait, what? Give me my fucking interest. What the fuck? That is some bullshit. Federal Savings Association determined of escrow accounts, including whether to pay interest or charge fees. If you don't give me my interest, you can't charge me any fees. Fuck you. Federal law preempts state laws when it comes to the OCC regulated banks aspects, blah, 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 blah. Don't I want that? Because, like, how does my account stay over on my escrow? Basically allow OCC regulated banks not to pay interest on mortgage escrow accounts. That's so fucked. So they just get to keep the interest? They're not just holding dollars. Wow. About 80% of mortgage holders have an escrow account, which provides real estate tax and insurance. It basically, what an escrow account, for those that don't know, nobody's watching this anyway, an escrow account is an account the bank forces you to have to ensure that you pay for your taxes and your insurance. Meaning the bank, the only people that can get in front of the bank who, when you have a mortgage, to collect on you is the government. And if you don't pay your taxes, those taxes come out of your house and the government gets your house before the bank gets any money. And they don't want that. So they make you, as a part of your mortgage payment, pay into an escrow account that covers your taxes and insurance. So that means if you fall behind on your mortgage payment and you start to fall behind on your taxes, they'll know right away and they'll foreclose on your bitch ass before you run up a fat ass tax bill. is basically what's going to happen. Or your insurance gets cut off and your house gets struck by lightning, or a tree falls, or it burns down from a fire, or you're most likely like a crackhead or something like that and burn your house down or something. So they make sure your shit's still insured. Now, I'd love to have some interest on the money that's sitting in there because the annual property tax bill for 87 million homeowners was $4,200. Sure, mine is that. If not, I think mine is 50% higher. I think mine's like $6,000 a year or something like that. And that's not because I'm in a nice house. Don't be over here thinking, oh, Ryan's in a really nice house. No, the taxes are really high in the city I live in. I don't even get shit for it. I got bad schools in my area. They're not even good schools. The average annual cost of homeowners insurance is projected to reach 3,000 by the end of 2026. That's so fucked. I do not think I pay 3,000 a year. I think I save here. I think my homeowners insurance is only like 2 grand a year. For instance, in Rhode Island, escrow accounts must earn the same interest as a regular savings account. Dude, please. That makes sense to me. Oh, well, it doesn't even matter. They're still stealing. The 1 year treasury yields 4%. They only have to give you they give you a half of a percent. They're still fucking making money, these greedy fucks. You can't just give me my half of 1% while you keep another 3.5% of it all. You fucking for $5,000, give me my $31 a year. While you keep $170. Keep your 100 per person, millions of people though. Local banks are gonna fall asleep. That's kind of bullshit. That that's some bullshit. This is why banks suck, to be honest. What else we got? The Iran war risks bringing the G7's fastest growing economy to a halt. Well, I suggest they fucking figure it out then, huh? If it's a G7 problem more than ours. The UK, dude, get it together over there, dude. Get your shit together. The UK economy is showing further signs of a long awaited rebound, but the picture is complicated by the fallout from the Iran war and high energy prices. Brits have spent more than expected in recent months amid hot weather, a strong performance in the FIFA World Cup, and an uptick in business confidence. Official data published Thursday showed the UK economy grew by 0.4% in the second quarter, followed by 0.6% expansion in the first quarter. Businesses are investing. The figures keep the country on track to record the strongest growth of any G7 nation for a second straight quarter. Growth rate across the first half of the year to a scorching 2%. Some slowdown remains likely. High prices at the pump squeeze households, but the first time in a while, we're now seeing modest upside. Outlook facing new UK Prime Minister Andy Burnham is not all rosy. Why would it hit UK harder than the UK is highly exposed to higher energy prices due to its oil and gas imports and has also suffered a sharp spike in goods inflation than most of its peers in recent years. Worst case scenario, Treasury figures reported, growth could slow to just 0.3% next year if disruptions on the Strait of Hormuz persist. Drive UK growth has shifted. I don't know. I would feel like I would lean into any pullback here. They are having some issues over there. There are some issues, my friend. Dang, it's only 8:40 right now. Should probably check the chat over here. Oh, nothing. Not the only thing that's depressed. What was that about? Strategy, Metaplanet, unrealized Bitcoin losses, highly risk of concentrating on just one token. Bitcoin flat, Bitcoin treasury, Metaplanet denies selling Bitcoin. They deny it? Oh. Securitize falls 20%. Interesting, interesting. Subscription revenue. I want to understand that a little bit more. What is this one first? Bullish Q2 adjusted earnings in line as rise in subscription revenue. Digital asset sales slumped. Other revenue roughly doubled year over year to just shy of 65 billion. Dude, bullish the exchange 65 billion? Yeah, no shit they can own CoinDesk. Holy fuck, they own the website I'm reading this on. Crypto platform parent company of CoinDesk reported second quarter net loss of 280 million compared to a 108.3 million for the equivalent period a year earlier. Wait, it's steepening massively due to a 244 million markdown in the company's Bitcoin holdings. Adjusted earnings before interest taxes 29 million. Wait. A year earlier, adjusted net income was 14.3 million compared with a 6 million loss in the second quarter of 25. So they made money or lost money? Adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization came in at 29.5 million. So they actually made almost 30 million, but once they fucking mark off the depreciation of their Bitcoin and amortization and taxes and interest, it comes to this huge loss. So they don't have to pay any taxes, basically. Very interesting. Subscription services and other revenue reached a record 62 million. Who is using Bullish? Like, I don't even know what the Bullish website looks like. I've literally, this is Bullish order book. It looks like every other fucking order book. I mean, this is it? I'm just so like, what? Who is using this? I mean, who is choosing in America? I mean, honestly, who in America is choosing? They look at Coinbase, they look at Kraken, they look at Crypto.com, they look at Robinhood, they look at every other venue where you could trade crypto, and then they look at this site. They pull up Bullish.com, and they go, "Yep, this is it." This This is absolutely crazy, mind-blowingly fucking crazy to me. Like, I don't understand. Is this big international? Are they massive internationally or something? Tell me about the Bullish Exchange. Like, I need to know. Tell me about Bullish Exchange. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Tell me about this thing. How the fuck is it? I don't even understand. Securitas falls 20% after earnings miss. Tokenization revenue falls short. Yikes. Securitas. Shares plunge 20%. I wonder how Robert's next podcast is going to go. After the tokenization firm fell short of Wall Street's second quarter expectations in its first earning report since going public last month. The company, best known for issuing and managing BlackRock's BUIDL tokenized money market fund, reported revenue of $14.4 million, down 5% a year earlier, and missing analyst estimates of $20.6 million. Way the fuck off. $2.37 per share loss. Expected loss of just 15. Dude, they're way off. Called the quarter softer when reporting earnings on Wednesday while pointing to a stronger start to the year. First half revenue remained 16% higher year over year, including a record $19.5 million in the first quarter. Activity on the platform grew despite weaker financial. Average tokenized assets under management reached a record $4.3 billion, up 16%. Transaction volume up 150%. Saw 663 active funds, 24 billion in assets. Company provides the infrastructure for asset managers to issue and manage traditional finance products, such as funds as blockchain-based tokens. Its clients include BlackRock, KKR, putting the company near the center of Wall Street's push to bring securities on-chain. Yeah. It's also working with the New York Stock Exchange on infrastructure for trading tokenized securities, partnered with market-leading transfer agent Computershare to enable tokenized shares for U.S. issuers. Interesting. They're way off the mark after they just go public. Very, very interesting. Oh no. Is the account down on the day? Where are we at? We're just flat. Just a nice flat account all week. Love to see it. Let's just be flat and earn some divvies, dude. It's only 8:50 in the morning. Crank, we talk about your cellular service and what it's going to take to onboard you to World Mobile. At some point. I'm scared about my international travel is the problem. Like, I have to go to Singapore and shit. Like, what does it do when I'm international in Singapore? How's it gonna do there? Am I gonna have good cell service and stuff? Like, I can't be like not online. You know what I mean? This is gonna end badly. Brazil's largest Bitcoin treasury firm plans ETF with 95% allocations to strategy stretch. Oh god. They have travel sims. What does that mean? Am I gonna have to swap sims while I'm traveling and do all this shit? Because right now my phone just works everywhere in the world for $100 a month. You know what I mean? Unlimited. It's gotta beat my. It's gotta at least match or exceed the plan I already have. If that makes sense. Morgan Stanley's E Trade is working with Zero Hash. Goldman Sachs leaps into Bitcoin. This is interesting, dude. This is super interesting to me, actually. Just because I hold a bunch of it, it kills your current plan, to be honest. Really? Send me links about it. Send me the links of where I can read about it, and maybe we'll do it on stream tomorrow or something. You know what I mean? We don't have time this morning, but maybe that's what we'll do tomorrow or something like that. I'll look into it and compare my plan, you know? Goldman Sachs is acquiring Neos Investments, the firm behind BTCI, a 1.1 billion Bitcoin synthetic exchange traded fund that yields roughly 27%, according to a senior ETF analyst at Bloomberg. This is fucking crazy. I don't hold any BTCI. But I do hold their SPY and their QQQI. They have amazingly high yields on covered call strategies on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. And I hold these two ETFs and they spit off massive cash flow. I'm fucking excited as hell that Goldman Sachs has decided to purchase Neos. You know what else I hold? Because I was very skeptical, let's say, of the Neos funds being a new name that I just added. I hold the Goldman Sachs version, Goldman Sachs Premium Income ETF. These don't pay off as much. They're not as high of dividends, but they give you a little more upside. They're very middle of the road is why I chose them. You have direct SPY exposure, very, very little cash flow, but you get all of the upside appreciation. You have the Goldman Sachs ETF covered call like cash flow strategy, which is kind of your middle of the road. You still get some upside appreciation and cash flow. And SPY, which is just cash flow, baby. It still has very, very little appreciation to it, but it's mainly about cash flow. Same with GPIQ and QQQI over here. We also have the JP Morgan JEPQ just for a little diversity over here. But this is interesting. Now that Goldman Sachs is buying Neos, I feel even more comfortable about holding those. The acquisition deal in cash and equity puts Neos at a valuation of $2.25 billion. Somebody got paid the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Subject to performance targets and expected to close during the first quarter of 2027 pending regulatory approval. Goldman Sachs said Wednesday in a statement detailing the agreement. Wow. Did they buy it just for BTCI? Or did they buy it for the other ones too? He also said it holds spot Bitcoin exchange traded ETPs and sells call options against those positions to generate monthly distributions. It does not directly hold Bitcoin, and investors receive the yield from the product but forfeit some of the upside when Bitcoin rallies. Goldman registered the Goldman Sachs Bitcoin Premium Income ETF with the SEC, proposing a structured similar covered call product. Deal means for that filing. Now, I get why GS never launched the BTC covered call product they filed months ago. Better to leapfrog BlackRock's BITA versus Me Too. Matt Hogan, Chief Investment Officer at Bitwise Asset Management, said the deal reflects Goldman's push to build out the ETF business broadly. It's one of almost 20 ETFs at Neos, he said. If anything, it shows that Bitcoin is just part of the financial world alongside stocks, bonds, etc. Goldman Sachs Innovate. As of June 30th, Goldman Sachs innovator from Goldman Sachs Asset Management and Neos Management more than 130 billion. BlackRock released its own Bitcoin income ETF, BITA, targeting 15 to 25% annual yield and sells covered calls on 25 to 35% of its IBIT holdings. Wow, way to dog food. Way to dog food and market make off its own products. So interesting. It also grants it access to a 30 billion options-based ETF platform across 19 funds. One of the fastest growing in the industry. Neos co-founders Troy Cates and Garrett Pulea will join Goldman as partners after the closing. The derivatives income ETF strategy has grown roughly 180 billion asset industry, compounding more than 70% annually since 2021. Holy fuck. Goldman's buying into that growth rather than trying to organically replicate it. Genius move. Fucking absolutely genius. I love it. I hold it. Makes me super bullish on my QQQI, which I was slightly down in after making a bunch of large purchases, but getting massive returns, so it doesn't even matter. I get more than that in 1 month's dividend out of it. Oh yeah, and they pay monthly. Super nice to get that monthly dividend. Interesting that that hits CoinDesk and that like the news about it is they're buying it for the Bitcoin ETF they have, but what else is going on? What else is in the world? Wholesale prices were we got those numbers in. Wholesale prices were flat in July, below expectations for a zero point 0.2 increase. Wholesale costs for goods and services were flat in July. Underlying inflation pressures was unchanged for the month. Excluding food and energy, excluding the two biggest things that you got to buy, nothing went up. Against the forecast for a 0.3% gain, core PPI excluded trading services increased to 0.4. So because it's flat, because we didn't have inflation, we're not worried about inflation risk. We're not going to raise rates, is what they're saying, right? Time index 4.2 for the core. Several other indicators telling a similar story that after the ramp up inflation earlier this year, fueled by the war, the rate price increase is beginning to ease. Services prices rose, pushed by a 6.5% surge in portfolio management, a category that can show outsized gains in the first month of the quarter due to reporting requirements. Goods prices fell 0.7, helped by a 3.1% decrease in energy, including where? Including a 5.7% slide in the gasoline index. Doesn't feel like it to me. Food prices fell almost 1%. Where? Has anybody noticed the prices of food going down? You're gonna laugh so hard. Last Friday, I fully poured it into Hertz because they announced bankruptcy and played a dead cat bounce for a $3 gain. That's, dude. That reminds me of some motherfucking COVID shit. Remember when they went out of business during COVID, and everybody bought the stock up and saved them from going bankrupt and shit? Do you fucking remember that? Wild shit. So encouraging inflation data. I've never cheered on fucking non-growth. Iran looks to ramp up economic alliance with BRICS nations as war with US drags on. Who is trying to fucking what? Excuse me? Dude, we better be fucking very public about this shit. You fucking partner with them. You're now the fucking enemy too, all right? We need to have hard stances on this shit. We need to not be so fucking weak ass. Sick of this bitch ass shit. We need a young president in here. I'm 40. I can run for fucking president. Should we do it, chat? I'll fucking do this shit. We'll be high as hell in the Oval Office yelling at people. We'd never make it. They'd be like, he's a pothead. He sold weed. Iran set to join the BRICS New Development Bank, the country's central bank chief said Thursday. Wait, what? The BRICS alliance was set up in '06. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa joining in 2010. Now, wait a minute here. Brazil, India, and China, this is going to be a motherfucking problem, bruh. Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Indonesia, with various other nations. Dude, Belarus, Cuba, Nigeria. Dude, this is that. Hey, the BRICS is the enemy, dog. The BRICS is the enemy, dog. Abadi is currently in India ahead of next month's BRICS summit, according to Iran. We're seeking to establish a bilateral and trilateral monetary cooperation with member states. Dude, what the fuck? We're seeing what the NDB was established by Brazil, Russia, India, China for South Africa to help mobilize resources for infrastructure and sustainable development projects in emerging markets and developing countries. For it become an official member country. Current prospective members are Uruguay, Colombia, Ethiopia, Angola, and Zimbabwe. eligible to seek financing for projects in areas such as transport, sanitation, digital infrastructure, and urban development. 25% tariffs on goods imported to the U.S. from any country that directly or indirectly purchases goods or services from Iran. Dude, do it. Fuck that shit. That is kind of fucked. Whoa, gold's back over 44 hundies. Let's go. Gold trying to reclaim here. SPY and the QQQ looking up for the morning. Can we go back to all-time highs, baby? The account is looking good, slowly climbing as we get into the day. It's just 9 a.m., 30 minutes until open. 4 notifications. I haven't even posted anything. Via Labs T. Interesting. Lost 400K on FTX without even knowing I had a balance in there. Was playing private games. My backer was receiving funds from the host. I was just chopping and keeping tabs on a spreadsheet. Told me all my money was in his FTX account. Oh my god, that would suck so much. God damn. I don't know why that's even a thing still. I'll trade against I'll trade against No Thread Guide, Frank D. God on perpetual futures for a month. 1 Billy escrow, both of them 2 versus 1. Their combined returns versus mine. Damn. Strong. They're never going to take it though. What is Elon doing over here, dude? Retard my only. My kids used to love Paw Patrol, each pup representing a different emergency service field, except they team up for an ultimate rescue under one specialty. My wife and I had a running joke. The police team was fascist puppy. Oh my god. Propaganda? Oh my god. That's intense. What else is in the news, chat? What else do we got going on? Dude, Trump is linked to everything. A Texas based oil company with links to President Trump has delayed plans for oil in Greenland. Government issued a strong warning to its joint venture partner for bringing equipment ashore without permission. A NASDAQ listed oil and gas exploration firm said Wednesday that it is now working toward a targeted permit timeline for winter 2027, delaying its plans to try and unlock the hydrocarbon potential of the Jameson Land Basin on Greenland's east coast. London listed 80 Mile, the joint venture partner of the Greenland Energy for the project. The delay, operations in the Arctic require patience, flexibility, and a long term perspective. Deepen relations with local communities, strategic partners, relevant authorities. White Flame Energy. Granted before Greenland stopped issuing new licenses in 2021, citing the worsening climate crisis. I think the jig is up on that. Better get your money before nuclear takes over. Before China drills sideways from international water and takes your oil anyway. Most of them offshore. They've all been unsuccessful wells. There's been hundreds of millions of dollars wasted, particularly on offshore drilling, which is significantly more expensive. They've come, they've drilled, they've not found anything, and they've left. One of the most remote drilling sites in the world. And why not let it happen, my friend? The 20% rule. What is this? 20% to philanthropy? Damn, you must be fucking drilling sideways. 3-6 quote there, I see. Family offices are built to be patient with their portfolios, investing with generational wealth in mind. Through his family office, Great Things, the co-founder of Nutrifoil, backs high-flying startups as a quick pace and allocates at least 20% of annual net realized profits to philanthropy. 20% of profits to philanthropy, dude. You're cranking it. He invested nearly 40 million and committed about 7 million to nonprofits between gifts and pledges. What? To give back now rather than as an afterthought? Allowed him to realize profits quickly, including a 7 times return on Anthropic in 18 months through a secondary exit. Oh my god. What a beast, dude. These people have enough money that they're able to buy. He did a fucking 7x. Oh my god. He's like, thank you, God, for giving me a 7x in the secondary market that nobody even knew was there. Most retail people can't even get in, and I'm already hitting fat fucking licks. I've got kids, I think about their future, and now that I'm rich, now that I'm fucking wealthy, resilience with it. It's like we need now. I formally launched Great Things nearly a year ago after selling his remaining stake in his hair growth supplement business to Unilever. Hair growth supplements is where he started at a $3.5 billion valuation. Wow. Just turn the profit sharing interest into a charitable sharing interest. We know it works, we know it's very sustainable. Given years don't cover the firm's charitable commitments, Great Things typically make 3 to 5 year pledges supporting nonprofits such as After School Boxing Academy in the Bronx. Blah blah blah. Great Things continues to invest at its current rate, expects to deploy another 60 million within the next 2 years. Without outside investors because investment decisions come down to him and one partner. Far less bullish on AI startups than they used to be. The firm is moving with more caution. I believe that late stage rounds, like the super early startups, are probably late to the game. When I look at these AI companies, I really try to think who's going to survive that correction, have a durable value prop, and are built on their own tech rather than that of OpenAI or Anthropic's. 3-year-old startup has its own AI model and build automated robotics labs that make scientific research faster and cheaper. Hmm. I definitely think people are going to blow up in a lot of this AI craze right now. Especially if you're looking for like who's the next great Anthropic or ChatGPT or something like that. I definitely think you're going to blow up. Good hurting. What? Good hurting on CNBTC? Dude, squishy dumplings. What's going to be the next pet rock and how do we make it blow up? My god. Squishy dumplings? Squishy dumplings, chat. Squishy frickin' dumplings. Somebody got uber fucking rich off of squishy fucking dumplings. No, we're not going back into this, are we? People are going to be buying storage units again, dude. I don't believe it. Storage Wars is going to be a show again? Dude, Wendy's stock takeover? When? When, Lee's? Where you at, Wendy? Yikes, dude. God. Do we bet on the Wendy's turnaround here? And this is about to start getting super popular with fucking. Hmm, dude, I might make a play here. I think the Reddit crowd and Wall Street Bets is all about Wendy's right now. Like, I'm pretty sure Wall Street Bets is on the Wendy tendies, dude. You're not broke, you're pretty rich. I have a feeling. I have a feeling Wendy's is gonna go to the moon. The fuck is Ruler? Keck Maxi? No, I'm not in fucking Ruler. Never was in Ruler. That's some bannable bullshit. Are we full porting Wendy's? We are definitely not full porting Wendy's. Calm down. You know what I mean? We are definitely not gonna full port Wendy's, dog. Calm down. But you do get some crazy shit like this where people are on Wall Street Bets. I'm up 2 million in 2 months. Blew my account. Truly done. Search Wendy's. 37% of the float is shorted. Take over private move, divergent bull case, arguments, blah 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 blah. Wait, go back. But I want like what people are saying. You're still gonna have to show up for work tomorrow. Dude, people are about to go hard on some Wendy's, dog. Well, the way, hey, let's buy my boy. You know what I mean. Hey, let's get some long dated calls. Long dated calls. A little over a year, let's say. You know what I'm saying, though. You know what I'm saying, though. Bro, $100? Let me get a 10 piece. Let me get a 10 piece, baby. I might, too. At $100 a pop, we might get a 10 piece. You know what I'm saying? And just see what happens, dog. I think this might be a nice little trade. Jordan, good morning, good morning. I mean, dude, there's just So many Wendy's memes that could happen, and once it starts to really take off, oh, my belly's rumbling. Which we kind of already have here. I have a feeling this could rage very easily. I might take a morning position in Wendy's, my friend. You need some Wendy's breakfast. No, I do not. My fat ass is trying to lose weight. Need to keep drinking this fucking coffee, my guy. Need to keep drinking some fucking coffee out here. That might be my move, though. I might have to remove some more of those stable tokens to make the move on Wendy's, but very interested. It's up 1% already this morning. It's just 8 cents, dude. Wendy's could soar, I have a feeling. Wendy's company stock short interest rises to 43%. We need to save Wendy's. 3 days ago, there are decisions that we made in the interest of cost and efficiency that may have degraded a little bit of our quality. Dude, you shouldn't have done that. Wendy's doesn't fucking cut corners, dude. Wendy's slashes dividend and scraps guidance as activates pelts applies the pressure. This is the rub. A month ago, this is it. Wendy's slashes their dividend. How much worse could it get? And ruined it by making the chicken a mystery meat. Party now. Never again, Wendy's. Dude, it's true. The Wendy's near me, the employees don't give a fuck. They don't even like run the fucking drive through. Yeah, they did. The fresh, never frozen. They had true value prop, and then they went from high quality to shit. I love Wendy's and want to see them turn it around. Dude, they can because so many people grew up on fucking Wendy's and Frosties. They just need fucking. They need the right person to come in and turn it around. You know what I'm saying? The Wendy's here is like the best drive through. They got a line every fucking day. Really? Hmm. 10,000 shares into Wendy's because the dumpster was already priced in, dude. 2 months ago, that guy's chilling. Wendy's is honestly a good setup. Wendy's private purchase being strongly considered. An R short squeeze. Buy out at 12, just watch. Wow. Wow. People fucking want in the Wendy's, my dude. I'm interested. I am interested. Oh, yeah. What did Claude ever say about Bullish? They went, Bullish went public exactly 1 year ago today, August 13th, 2025. That's crazy. By Block.one, EOS Blockchain, CEO Brandon Blumer and Chairman at launch with an unusually large war chest. Block.one seated with 164,000 Bitcoin plus cash. Peter Thiel, Alan Howard. Whoa. Tom Farley, the former president of the NYSE, runs it as CEO. Oh, wow. Media, events, and indices business. For 75 million, then completed a traditional IPO in August 2025, raising about 1.1 billion. Wow. It's very international, but users here means institutions, not a mass retail audience like Coinbase or Robinhood. Roughly 98% of its volume comes from professional players, market makers, quant trading firms, and algorithmic funds. Hong Kong, Germany, Gibraltar, and US. Most of its customers are outside of the US. Very, very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Learning about the bullish. Very, very, very interesting. All right, time to get to work. We're going to ship it off to Old Thread Guy here. Everybody have a good day. Enjoy the open. Hopefully, we get a bull market. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I have a lot of work to do today. I got to get caught up on a ton of emails now that I could sit in the office. I need to do a bunch of accounting work that was asked of me over the weekend, and I didn't get to do it in the beginning of the week. So now we're going to do all that. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you on the flip side. Peace. Ghost of M, you're just late. What earlier, dude?